Welcome back to a special episode of Between the Vines. This is our bye-week episode. We are both drinking wine.
Before we get into our first taste,
We
we
always
have to
have a
just say
cheers.
we always have something that we have to toast to. So go ahead.
Well, today is not actually Veterans Day, and we thought that it was important to make special note of this. I think we need to do a cheers to our veterans for everything that they've done for us. To all the veterans out there, a cheers will never be able to repay you, but here's a start.
Yes, thank you. Cheers. Man, good stuff. So what are you drinking on today?
Well, since I'm up here in northern Michigan for the bye week, I decided to go local, and I am drinking some Pinot Noir 2020 from a winery out here called Chateau Chantel, which is on the Old Mission Peninsula, just outside of Traverse City. There's actually a bunch of wineries out on that peninsula. It's a great little wine tour. I'd love to get you and the missus up here in the summertime when it's a little more comfortable to make that wine tour.
Absolutely.
It is a little breezy and cold up here right now, but so this Noir, I'll give you it. It's very light to medium bodied. So I guess we're going with it's a Goddard to Devante body. We got maybe some hints of blackberry in here. And it's just it's a dry red, but it's not very overpowering, so it's great to eat with meals or drink with meals.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What I'm dealing with today is I got a red blend from Bonnie Doon Vineyards. So I go to a liquor store here, and and usually I just kind of go in there and I'm like, hey man, put me on to something new. Let's just touch on what Lane Johnson has been doing. I think Glacier did a really good job of just highlighting some of the stuff that Lane has been doing. Here, y'all check out this quick video.
Lane Johnson decided, I need to be of service to those who are of service to us. Very quietly, without anybody else knowing, Lane Johnson, every single home away game this year, check this out, brought in a Gold Star family and even a Silver Star recipient each week, bringing them in to the hotel the night before, signing jerseys, having them meet their teammates, bring them on the field for pregame warm-ups, really wanted to go above and beyond. And I talked to Lane this morning. He said, look, these people are my heroes. I look up to them. I just wanted to give something back to our heroes.
Great to see Lane doing that work and giving back. And it's needed because veterans definitely need our support.
So, hey, now that we've gotten through that, like, just hear a quick word from our presenting sponsor, Life Brand.
Let's face it, we've all posted things we regret. That's why we created Life Brand. Life Brand connects all of your social media accounts and then scans them for potentially compromising posts. With just a few clicks, you can delete old, potentially harmful social media posts so they're gone for good. It's fast, easy, and protects your privacy. Stay in control of your online reputation. Visit lifebrand.life today.
Now that we heard from Life Brand, what was your usual bye week for you? Like, what did you usually do during the bye week?
Well, it was very different from year to year. Usually it had to do with me getting the F out of town. Kind of get away from the city, the scene, get away from football, and just kind of recharge the battery. The trip generally depended on how much time we had off, because if you didn't finish well before the bye, sometimes you didn't get the entire week off.
Exactly.
But probably my most memorable bye week would be I got engaged on a bye week.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got engaged on a bye week. What was that?
Okay.
2013. I took my then girlfriend over to Paris, and we did a little Paris Eiffel Tower wee type thing.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah, very romantic. Very romantic.
Very romantic.
I'm just a hopeless romantic, and I was just trying to fulfill some of my childhood dreams.
Okay.
I'm all thumbs when it comes to romance, if you ask my wife, but I tried my damnedest, and it
Yeah.
was a memorable trip, and it worked out. We're still married, so.
It was a beautiful wedding. You know what I'm saying? So like when you get engaged in Paris, that just helps lead up to where the wedding was in Sicily, man. It was awesome.
Like
For
for you.
myself, I usually would go back down to Florida for a little bit. I would end up in Miami at some point during the bye week. Like you said, it depended on how we were doing during the season. Big Red sometimes wouldn't give you that full week off. We would have to get a couple practices in depending on how the week was going or how the season was going. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Hurts doesn't go anywhere, where he's just like, you know what, look, I get a couple extra weeks to prepare. You know that this is the team that beat you in the Super Bowl. This is that Super Bowl rematch. So now here you go. You have another opportunity to take them on during the season. I'm going to give them everything that I can. I see him just saying there and like, all right, getting extra film work.
I would agree with you. I don't think he's out gallivanting, doing anything crazy. I bet his bye week is probably pretty boring.
Boring to like the average person that's out there. It's probably for anybody that's like, that's like a film junkie that likes to get into that stuff. I mean, they probably like, oh man, that's amazing. I would love to sit with Jalen Hurts and watch film. You know what I'm saying? It just because I want to see what you see. Because that's amazing to me. Like a lot of people don't realize like the amount of preparation that it has to go into like quarterbacks and just understanding where everybody's going to be, the timing and reading blitzes and understanding where the protection is and how you can readjust all of that. There's a lot of work that goes into that. And I think that he's the type of person that's not going to slack on that at all. I remember during my career, we had the bye week like towards the end of the season a couple times where we had to play 15 straight games and then we had that bye week right before the last game of the season. And I'm like, man, who scheduled this?
Yeah, what's the point of this?
I just played 15 straight games.
Right.
Yeah, and then you give me a bye week? Like, what is this? I mean, I think the Eagles right now, with them having a bye week right here right in the middle of the season is perfect. That's what you're asking for because you don't want one that's too early and then you don't want one where you're playing 15, 12, 13 games and then now you have a bye week. I think right in the middle is a perfect timing for them just so they can recharge and get some guys back.
I would agree, yeah. And they are, they got a couple guys that are nicked up and would like to have some time so that they can get back. I saw a couple guys might have some hamstring twinges. I think I saw Jordan Davis like grab the back of his leg when he was chasing somebody down during the game and stuff. And that's the type of stuff that you need a week of rest for, because you never really get to rest a hamstring or something like that the way that you really should. Unless you get an entire week to do it. And this is perfect timing for it. I think that they're going to be able to recoup, come back super strong. And but here's the thing. Big Red has an impeccable record after the bye week. Impeccable. Yeah.
Players are getting their time off, but the coaches, they're in there. The coaches, hey, look, like, we need to get this extra work. Now, what might help us is that Kelsey went over there to wherever with the Swifties and was hanging out, she
changing song lyrics.
Changing song lyrics for him. So, that might help us out a little bit.
You think he may be a little jet lagged by the time he gets back?
Yeah, he's gonna be a little jet lagged by the time he gets back hanging out with the Swifties, man. So all right, hopefully. Well,
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You would think that every NFL head coach would have a great record after the bye.
Yeah.
But I mean, Big Red is one that I know of for sure that is just, he's good after the bye. And is that because he's like a psycho in preparation in that extra week? And he figures if they're giving me 2 weeks to prepare for somebody, I better sure as shit win. What do you think Mr. Kelsey's doing for the bye week? You think he's on some sort of like sexy man world tour or something like that?
He's gotta be. You gotta be on some type of sexy man's world tour because that leads us to the next thing, man, because you had Eagles Nation put out this tweet that was absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? So Eagles Nation puts out this tweet about what Kelsey is doing for the bye week. And some of these pictures.
They had AI generate what Jason Kelsey does on the bye week.
Yeah, it's all, the one where he's sitting on the beach with like kicker legs, though. The legs were a little small. You know what I'm saying?
But Jason has big legs.
Hey, I don't know. he's a center. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he probably has big calves. You know what I'm saying? I know as for myself, I'm a small calf guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I was built for speed and not,
Well, you're not necessarily a small calf guy. You're a high calf guy.
High calf guy.
High calf guy. Yeah.
But I've been told that I have petite ankles.
I've got the long calf with the thick ankles.
Okay, there you go. Then there's the one where he has there's some type of man-eating cats that are still young, that he's holding. And then you had the one where he's sitting there with a flock of eagles, on the beach.
I'd like to think he's on the beach with, man-eating tiger kittens somewhere.
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
He's probably with his family, protecting his children from the man-eating kittens.
Protecting his children from man-eating kittens. That's exactly what he's doing, man. When we first talked about this, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, hold on. You were voted one of the sexiest men, a sexy man in Philadelphia.
Well, I mean, I think that's a little different scale there. You're correct. I was a sexy single back in the day.
You're a sexy single.
Yeah.
That's my dog. That's my dog. And then you were one of the first
the choices we make through life, and then we look back at them and kind of just chuckle. What do you do?
You were a sexy single in Philadelphia, and then you were one of the first linemen that I ever saw in the ESPN naked issue. Yeah. So, this
Let's not
is
make
you.
it about me. You're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, you started to scratch your neck and everything.
It's getting warm in here.
Okay, cool.
The wine's kicking in.
Yeah. Well, so that we can just keep moving, man, hear a quick word from Pino's Palette.
So, what's the perfect night out? Any night spent at Pino's Palette. Pino's Palette. Paint, drink, have fun. Sign up online for your class today.
All right, so now that we heard from Pino's Palette, man, one of the things that is really awesome that's going on in the city right now is that both the Sixers and the Eagles are 8-1, which is absolutely amazing, man. Tyrese Maxey is just out there balling. And here he is dropping a 50-point game. I, for one, felt that I was kind of out on the Sixers. I was out on the Sixers after Jimmy Butler left, after they got rid of Jimmy Butler, because I felt like Jimmy Butler was just that dog that team needed. And I didn't think, and then once Harden left, I was kind of like, you know what, Maxey might be too young to be that guy.
Yeah.
But man, this team has just been on fire, and Maxey has just been playing lights out.
It hurt me deep when they let go of Jimmy Butler. I really loved his game. I thought he was a perfect fit for Philly, and I just thought that, I couldn't see the reasoning behind those moves. I just feel like there's so much drama every year with the Sixers and what's happening with the roster and whatnot. But dude, I love Maxey's game. I wasn't out on the Sixers. I'm still following stuff like that. But the Harden thing, I didn't see it going well after that. You know what I mean? And I think that was actually a great move. Maxey's out on the floor a lot more now, and he's running the show. And I think, what else could you expect? This is the greatest sports city in the world. I mean, Philadelphia is the greatest sports city in the world, and the fans can carry the energy from one sports season to the next. And I feel like the players feel that, and it just brings a whole energy level. It's almost like you're not starting from ground zero. You've already got some excitement built up because of the seasons that are just ending before yours is starting.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got the Phillies rolling into the Eagles, and then, even the Flyers at one point. Now, I'm not a hockey guy. I'm not going to sit up here and talk hockey. You know what I'm saying?
Won't either.
Yeah, but
I don't even know all the rules.
No, I've tried watching a hockey game, and
I would love to love hockey, but I just don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at. It's so fast. I respect them, the toughness for you to go out there and just get hit in the face with a puck. That's amazing to me.
And then not put a shield on. Just say,
nah.
I'm not gonna put a face mask on. I'm good.
You know what? Yeah, just go ahead and take all my fronts out. You know what I'm saying? Like, to voluntarily say, you know what? Take all these out. Like all my greeters, all the ones that you see when I say good morning. You know what I'm saying? When I say hello, take all those out. So what's your wine word of the day?
Today's wine word of the day is sediment. And if you want to know what sediment is, if you've ever been drinking probably toward the bottom of the bottle of wine, sediment is just bits and pieces and fragments that could be left over from as it sits in the barrel, pieces of char from the barrel or something like that. It could be some grape skins or just little hunks of stuff. But it's not dangerous. It's not to be feared. But that's just what it is. If you're ever wondering, like, wow, there's stuff in the bottom of my wine. They call that sediment.
Sediment.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
Today's wine word of the day is brought to you by Birds Nesting. Birds Nesting is a real estate and lifestyle service for professional athletes, coaches, and their families. Moving to a new city is a big change and comes with its challenges. Let Birds Nesting assist you in finding the perfect place to live. Help settle you and your family into your new community with our connections and trusted recommendations. Please go to birdsnestingphl.com for more information. Birds Nesting for an easy landing.
I love that, for easy landing. You had the Dallas Cowboys, man.
Woo!
Man,
they look good.
They look good. I mean, but they beat up on the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants are bad.
The Giants are terrible. They're on their third string quarterback who still stays at home with his mom, which is cool.
They can farm. Shit, I would. If my parents lived in Philly, I probably would have popped in for dinner.
Yeah, chill out. The man say, look, man, I know my clothes going to be washed. My bed is made. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was a football team in the land, all right, cool. And I was single. I don't know. I was a little wild in my younger years.
I probably would have an apartment, but I would spend a lot of time at home. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There's just things you don't want to do at your parents' house.
Yeah. There's a lot that you just don't need at your mom and dad's house. But anyway,
Dak has what, 10 games now with over 400 yards passing? I think that's what it was. Was that the stat?
Yeah.
And that's the record now for Dallas quarterbacks, and that's pretty good company to hold a record with. That's you're talking about Roger Starbuck, Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman. Dallas sucks, but
it'd be a tough game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. I'm looking forward to it. But right now, we don't even have to worry about that, man. All we got to do is get ready for the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for Big Red. And but I like what we have going on. I think that our team is going to come in, recharge. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to do what he needs to do to get these guys going. And I think this bye week really helps him. When you were talking about earlier where you're saying, okay, I think that Jalen Hurts stayed here. Absolutely, because he's dealing with a knee issue. I think that he's going to do everything that he can to get that knee ready so he can be ready to go.
Or if he went somewhere, is to go get some sort of super secret menu treatment from somebody.
Yeah. Someone out there is like pulling something from the deep sea that can be rubbed. Which is probably, he's definitely doing what he has to do to get that knee together.
Well, if he did go somewhere, hopefully it's somewhere with some good ocean water, because the ocean is therapeutic and very healing.
Yeah. Go get a little salt. Yeah.
So did you watch any football this weekend?
I watched everything. I watched a lot of football. I watched some college. I watched Florida State go out there and beat up on Miami. That was a fun game to watch. When the Eagles aren't playing.
Right. I mean, I was up here in Michigan, so I was like, injected back into the Lions den.
Okay.
So, my family, before I played for the Eagles, all hardcore Lions fans, still Lions fans. It was very easy for them to be Lions fans and Eagles fans because it wasn't much competition there while we were playing. But dude, this turnaround that the Lions franchise has made, they're fun to watch. They're exciting to watch. They bring it. And it got me to thinking, dude, they're sitting at, I think, 7-2 right now. And this was probably not like the Chargers are a hard, I mean, every game in the NFL is hard besides the Giants game.
Yeah.
But the Chargers was, they beat them by a field goal. Tony Romo sitting there saying like, you better look out for these guys. They could be in the Super Bowl, and I started thinking to myself, like, what are you talking about? They just beat the Chargers by a field goal in the last 2 seconds. But then I started listening to people talk. They don't have a lot of hard games left on their schedule. What happens? I mean, this could be crazy. The Lions could end up hosting, if the Eagles stumble along the way, could end up hosting the NFC Championship game. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be something, man. I mean, and Buns is the offensive line coach there.
Yeah,
And
Honey
man,
Bun's
Honey Bun's got the offensive line. Is the offensive line coach up there, man? And he has his offensive line playing well, man. The big kid, that's the tackle that came out of IMG, that went to University of Minnesota. What is his name? Sewell, I believe.
Penny Sewell.
Yeah, his younger brother was down there when I was down there, but I think that, man, they say, man, he's playing really well, and Bun's got those guys down there rolling. Deuce Staley is out there as a running back coach as well, assistant coach. So you got some connections there, but I think that, man, we don't. If anything, we have to take care of business, and we have to keep home field advantage, though.
Oh yeah, that's a must. I mean, I think to be first place in the NFC at the end of this is key for us. But I do like what they're building here in Detroit. This offensive coordinator probably could have went somewhere else last year. He said, "Nah, you know what? I'm going to stay here. I like what we're building." I'm not sure what his name, but I remember him saying, "I'm going to stay here. I really feel like we're building something special." And man, he's calling some nice plays. He's got some good creativity out there with I'm gonna screw his name. I think it's like Amon-Ra St. Brown, the utility player they got out there running the reverses, running routes, carrying the ball, doing all this stuff. They show a lot of creativity. And how long do you think he would pass on other opportunities because they're building something special? Is that like a one season pass type of thing, or you know what I mean? I was thinking like if somebody comes and wants him after this year, he's gone.
He's got. I mean, to get ahead, coach. Okay, so let's just talk about this real quick because we've been.
We're gonna talk about Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher gets fired, and they have to pay him $76 million.
Jeez, that's like we were talking about the Raiders.
Man,
we don't want you to coach for us so bad that we're gonna pay you $76 million to not coach for us.
To $76 million to walk away. What? All right. Okay. And if you get fired because you didn't, because of your performance because you underperformed on the field, $76 million not the coach. Man, that's not bad.
Do you think when somebody gets fired but they're still owed that money, they're like mad about it, or they're like, yes, perfect?
Oh, you know what though? I think as a coach though, man, it's just in you though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're used to that routine, you're used to the grind, you're used to the competitiveness of it. I think that it still bothers you that you're not able to do what you want to do, but it helps when you like, all right, I'm still collecting this $76 million though.
Yeah, it probably hurt because you still got fired.
You got fired. No one wants to get fired.
Right.
Yeah. But
I got fired. It sucked.
Yeah, I got fired. Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get fired. My contract wasn't renewed. So is that a firing?
Nah, yeah, I got fired twice.
Okay.
I still had money out on the table. They just
oh damn.
Yeah, we're done with you.
Yeah, that's it. All right, get on out of here. Hey, enjoy the rest of your bye week, my brother.
You too, Greg.
Enjoy Michigan. Enjoy your family, man. And hey, man, I'll see you guys when you get back.
Cheers, my guy.
Cheers, my brother. All right.